2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. New King James Version. 2 Timothy 3, 16 and 17. All Scripture is given by inspiration of God, and it is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in all righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, thoroughly equipped for every good work. As we go through life, and especially as we come for our Bible classes tonight, I hope that we are going to study Scriptures. I hope we're going to open the Bible and learn. There's many places in the Bible where Jesus has taught us and gave us examples of many things. That's where my mind frame is at tonight. I appreciate Ricky's lesson this morning because I feel like it kind of springboards from that one. I appreciate the patience of my middle schoolers because it's going to springboard of what we've been talking about this past week and also what we're going to roll into the college class tonight. I really like connecting different thoughts together, but this is a pretty simple one I believe that we have tonight. An article that I have found that in a bulletin, it says, in an article entitled "The Ears Have It" by Dalton Key, he wrote this: if you are average, you speak between 125 and 150 words per minute, and yet you have the ability to listen to an astonishing rate of 600 words per minute. Potentially, you have a much better listener. You have the ability to be a much better listener than talker. Of course, I may doubt some of these compared to what I do because I believe in probably talking a little more than listening. And my dad, through my decades of life, has reminded me that I have 2 ears and only one mouth. And I guess the old wives' tale, or whatever you want to call it right there, about listening twice as much as you speak. I always aspire to this right here, but sometimes as tonight, hopefully the words that I say to you will touch you in the way it needs to. With this, I cannot go any farther without giving a special thanks to those now and those in the past and those I hope in the future that are teachers here at Wood Avenue. The generations and generations of people that you have affected over the years have planted many seeds and grown much. And it's just a thing that if you haven't been part of it, you need to be. And those that are not right now, I challenge you to come be a part of it. It is a wonderful experience. Also, in the same breadth and width, our partners for FriendSpeak. We're about to kick back up with a new FriendSpeak and new people. It's a little different, but it will be very similar to what we had before. But we always need partners for that, to plant those seeds also in FriendSpeak. Over the last few weeks, we've been talking in Matthew 13, 3 through 9, and Matthew 13, 18 through 23 about the parable of the sower. This is one of those very unique parables that actually has the parable, and then he comes back and explains the parable to them. So you have no shadow or doubt what he means by what he says. And even to the point, and I always like to emphasize this to our middle schoolers, especially over the years that we've read scriptures, there's exclamation points. And if you're in Matthew chapter 13, verse 9, he who has ears to hear, let him hear, is with an exclamation point. I'm sure there's other times that he probably used in his teachings exclamation point, but it's not as much as what I thought it was when I was searching. And maybe that's a topic in the future, the times that Jesus used exclamation points. With that being said right here, what he said with this parable right here was important for us to the point where he wanted to make a call attention. A lot of times if we're in a classroom, we'll say, hey, pay attention to this. Pay attention. And you draw the people in for this important type of thing they're asking for. And I believe this goes along the same lines with what Ricky had said a few weeks or maybe a few months ago about that in time, your soul may change. And it's kind of a self-audit to yourself is what kind of soul do you have? We're going to reach farther in that tonight in our college class, but simply this. These are things that we should guard and be aware of. We talk about the wayside ground. We don't want the wicked one to snatch the seed or the word away from us. Sometimes we forget, and we don't want to forget about what God has taught us. Sometimes we have stony places where we receive it with joy. We come in, especially as a forewarning, I love Maywood, but there is a huge Christian high when I used to go to Maywood and come back off of that. And you have this type of high. And sometimes when we come back, we are later assaulted with tribulations or persecutions or things that we're not ready for. And we need to make sure that we have the seed deep in the soil that's going to be in the Word to be able to get us through those times. Also, the one that I think that bothers me the most, because it seems to during this time of COVID that it kind of wraps around, and I kind of, in many ways, felt during COVID that it kind of wrapped around me in many times, is that the cares of the world, and the third one that fell on thorny ground, and the thorns wrapped around and will choke out the plant. And the cares of the world or the deceitfulness of riches would choke out the word. I know many times, the older you get, you probably have situations that feel like they bother you. Each person is designed a little bit different and they're raised a little bit different, and different things hit us in different ways. So we need to guard ourselves a little bit and look to being productive. Some in the good ground was 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold, but the whole point is to be productive. A lot of times in life, we can be drugged down by our environment and things that are around us, but hopefully tonight, hopefully in our daily lots of life, and especially when we're doing Bible study, that we can get our seeds deep in the soil and to learn something and apply it to our lives. So I leave with you this. What type of ground are we tonight? Can we do better? Yes, we always can. But it's always a reminder for us to encourage and to also to protect ourselves and our seed, which is the Word, and hopefully one day we'll have a home in heaven. If anyone's subject to the Lord's invitation, please come where together we stand and sing.